Okay, take three. I had the desktop audio up so high that it was probably bleeding through to the microphone. I think I got that fixed. So, and then the one before that, I forgot to turn the mic on, so there was no problem with it then. Let's go for take three today.
The federal judge deciding whether to unseal the affidavit in the unprecedented search of Mar-a-Lago appeared to stake out the middle ground yesterday, saying he is inclined to unseal that affidavit. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhardt gave the Justice Department until next Thursday to submit redactions. In a written ruling, the judge said, quote, the government has not met its burden of showing that the entire affidavit should remain sealed. The judge said he would review the proposed redactions and then decide if he agrees with them. He did not give a timeline beyond next Thursday, saying, quote, this is going to be a considered, careful process. The government argued against unsealing the affidavit, claiming it would jeopardize its investigation and because it contains, quote, substantial grand jury information with national security overtones. The Justice Department also indicated for the first time yesterday that more than one person inside Trump's orbit could be working with the government, stating, quote, the court is aware of what several witnesses said. Only certain people would have that knowledge. Trump again yesterday called for the full affidavit to be released without redactions, but his legal team did not file anything in the case or even participate in the hearing. One of his attorneys, Christina Bobb, was in court but said she was just there to watch. She was pressed about that last night on Fox News.
I'm wondering, are you not concerned that because you didn't join any of these motions for, again, the full release of this affidavit, that you're then waiving possible objections to the way redactions are being done by the Justice Department later on? Because you didn't speak in court today, nor did you join any of these motions. They're going to redact all this stuff. And I'm not sure what grounds you're going to have at this point, having waived your right to file those motions.
Well, we would maintain that we haven't waived our right and that still is maintained. We need to wait and see. I can't be certain at this point because we haven't seen the affidavit and we certainly haven't seen the redactions and how it's going to play out. But, we'll be making that decision as it comes out. We got to see it. We haven't seen it. It has been under seal. So I don't know. We can't say.
So, Joe, Donald Trump's attorneys literally silent in court yesterday.
Okay, now, the reason why all these people are laughing, and at least now I think there's more than one of them that are lawyers, but they're TV people. They're not practicing lawyers. But like George Conway over there, as far as I know, he is an actual practicing lawyer. He didn't just get a degree and then go into the media or politics. He actually practices law, or at least has. And the reason why these guys are laughing is because this actually gets filed under the category of no shit Sherlock. She literally said that, well, yeah, we haven't seen the affidavit. Well, yeah, no shit. If you had seen the affidavit, you wouldn't be in court asking the court to unseal it. I got a feeling that, Trump just doesn't have any good, competent lawyers. That was one of the things Maher said when that's one of the things Maher said when he was talking about this. It came out where he told President Trump that, if this kind of thing was going to be possible, you were going to have to do it with top-notch lawyers, not this fucking clown show that you've got going on. And I guess Trump even admitted it. And the thing that I take away from that is, Bill Barr was basically saying, hey, you can steal an election, but you can't do it with these incompetent, lawyers. You got to have lawyers like, George Bush had when it was Bush v. Gore. They didn't go in there with a clown show because they basically had to convince a Supreme Court because all the lower judges had disagreed. They had to go in there to a Supreme Court and convince them that they should stop counting the votes. And there was a lawyer who explained it at the time, when you read the ruling, well, first of all, they made sure that this case did not set precedent because they didn't want this to be used for any other case. That's the first indication that they knew it was wrong, what they were doing. But he goes, if you look at what the Supreme Court said in their majority ruling was that we have to stop the counting of the votes because if we count the votes, and Gore has more votes in Florida, then it would disenfranchise George Bush from winning the election. Well, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen in a free and fair election. If the other guy gets more votes in Florida, then Florida is supposed to go for him. And, and then that he's the Republican that testified in front of the January 6th committee, and he just lost his primary a week or two ago. This is a guy who, hey, this is illegal. I can't support this. But if you look at what he voted for laws that would basically make it legal in the future. So that guy wasn't necessarily against stealing an election. He just was not okay with stealing election until they codified it into law. And so that's what we're going. And the only thing I can see is, because they've got news report after news report after news report where people are just refusing these offers to come work for Trump in this. And there was one guy, I think Ari Melber had him on. He's one of the guys that turned down the Trump side from representing them in court. And one of the things that he said, I think, is also telling for these judges or these lawyers is if he had taken the case, one of the first things he would have done back then would have been to file to have a special master for all these seized records, which has been done before. And then the court sets up somebody to go through these things. I think they had to do it for Michael Cohen. They go through it, and piece by piece they look at all the evidence and they determine that what can be used in court and what they should flag for the judge to disallow is the stuff that might have some kind of a privilege attached. And that's what he and his lawyers didn't do it. One of his other lawyers, she filed a motion, and when she signed the motion to submit it to court, she signed where the judge was supposed to be. Now, that's something you could expect from me. I'm not a lawyer, okay? Even if I was healthy, I'm not a fucking lawyer. This person has supposed to have gone to school, and I think one of the first things they would teach you is how to fucking sign your name in the right spot, but apparently not if you're working for Trump. And but the thing that I missed, and I've missed it up until today, I was watching this video this morning and it just clicked. And, if I was healthier, and there's videos I have on this channel if you want to know more about that, I'm just not going to go to it here. And, but I found another video, and it's what made me think of this today. So I'm going to cue that up now.
Regulations. The Attorney General.
Yeah, looking at this video, this is what made me think of it because I hadn't seen this for a few years. But when they talked about this, he made this comment that I can't charge this guy because there's an OLC memo that says you can't charge a sitting president. I disagree with it. There are legal experts that disagree with the validity of it. My understanding is there's 3 memos written on this subject. 2 of them say you can't, 1 of them say you can, and the 2 that say you can't were written by Bill Clinton was president, and the other one was written while Nixon was president. So you could maybe kind of throw them out as being biased and go with the third one that says, yeah, hell yeah, you can charge a sitting president if he's a criminal. And Ken Starr, I saw him in an interview where he said, well, yeah, he goes, I proved that you could charge a president civilly while he's president, because he was special prosecutor. He was the independent counsel that went after Bill Clinton because, a bunch of homewreckers, wanted to, oh, he fucked me and blah, 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 and then we had that. But so he said, if you can charge a president civilly, you should be able to charge him criminally. And I thought, well, that was probably the best legal analysis that man has ever given in his life. And so I think they could, but he did this. He's like, look, I know Bill Barr isn't going to prosecute this guy, and he fully teed it up, saying, look, Congress needs to get rid of him, and he gave him the method to do it. And then after he's out of office, Mueller said, yeah, he can be prosecuted. He can absolutely be prosecuted after he's out of office. And so that's where we were at. And what I'm looking at now is, and I just want to say, I am going to send a copy of this video when it's up, unless I forget, to the president. and it's probably going to be read by one of his staffers, and that's fine. I don't, I know, but I'm hoping one of his staffers reads that tweet, and I'm hoping they come to this video, and I just want to say this is something you should really take seriously. I'm not a lawyer, so if it's just patently stupid, then maybe not. I don't know. But the thing I worry about looking at the Trump administration and what he has done even before he was president, and I just want to take this moment to say, if you really want to help out the channel, it doesn't cost a thing to hit that subscribe button. It does not cost a thing to hit that like button down below. If you've made it this far, just go a little bit further and hit that stuff. And if you want to know about my health issues, I've got videos on the channel that you can check this out. But what I see as a problem is his lawyers haven't weighed in on this. And I think it's the Manafort case where they started arguing that they can't get a fair trial in DC because it's DC. Roger Stone basically said the same thing for one of his trials. And they were trying to change the venue or whatever. And the judge basically said that if there is a problem with jury selection, it will be handled during the voir dire. And what I'm seeing now is all these people, except for Trump, are weighing in on this. And I think this is something the DOJ should take up with the judge. They've got till Thursday. Okay? They have till Thursday. And what they need to do is they need to get the judge to get weigh-in from the Trump lawyers, because I have a feeling that they are going to use this later as a grounds to appeal, to get the case dismissed, or to argue that they can't get a fair jury. Because once this leaks out, if there is anything, I mean anything in this, because this is generally not done. I'm not a legal expert, but I've watched a lot of them on the news, and they are saying that this is not done. They do not put this out. This is something that comes out in discovery when they go to trial. And the Justice Department has made the argument that this might put witnesses in jeopardy. This might put their strategy in jeopardy. The other thing they might want to bring up is this will be used more than likely by the Trump administration. Now, and I might be overreacting because his lawyers appear to be fucking incompetent, but this will probably be used by the Trump administration as grounds to file motions to delay the trial. And so what they need to do is they need to basically have the judge get some kind of feedback from the Trump administration, like, hey, look, if you have any objections to this being released, speak now or forever hold your peace. Because if you do not give us your reasons why this should not be released, then you will be unable to bring them up as a motion in my court, any other court, including the appeals court. You have to make a decision now, because that's what I see is going on. And I might be wrong, and I hope I am, but it doesn't matter if I'm wrong or not if they can actually go to the judge and go, hey, look, until we get some kind of a feedback from the defendant here, or the subject of the warrant, you shouldn't release this. You should not release this, because it's like the search warrant. Now, he came out in public and he said that he wanted the warrant released, and he had a copy of it. He could have done it all along. It might already be too late. They might, oh, well, they did this. How am I going to get a fair trial? And so they need to get a hold of the judge and actually get, basically try and head them off at the pass, they used to say in the old Western movies. So, Mr. President, or your staffers, if you actually see this video, I'm as serious as a heart attack. This is something that you guys need to look at.